Okay, good afternoon to all. So,
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
yeah, so let us continue our discussion. So, the morning session we are discussing about the application layer protocols and what is the purpose of application layer protocol is basically to interact with the users and with the computer network system for that effective data transfer. So here, one of the such protocol which we are using is the HTTP. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and usually this HTTP is one which tries to transmit or do communicate data across the systems in the internet. So whenever a client tries to ask something from another computer, basically there is a server which hosts several web documents or which hosts several resources, uh, which and again which is interconnected over the network. So the client usually sends request. The request contains basically different parameters or different in simple terms different methods. Those are so the most common methods that HTTP do support is the get, post, put, delete, and other commands, or you can call it as command, you can call it as a method. Usually these methods will help to have a client server communication do properly. So here you can see a client request which usually contains one of those methods. Getting is a request that is been made by the client to get some information. Of course, the post is also some kind of request made by the client to post the data or to put the data. In other terms, a web resource is going to be created, and if it is not available on the server, you are going to you means the client is going to put the data. But don't confuse with the put command or the put method. There is a put method is also there available, but the difference between the post and the put method, basically the post method is going to create or going to add a new information to that server, whereas the put method is going to modify it or going to change if it is there some putting the data with the new data and replacing the existing data. Whereas post is nothing but you are directly just posting it, you are just sending it to be made available on that server, so that later in the future some request can be made from that resource. So here, so the client issues the commands request, and of course the responses do get from the server. So based on the request, you get a status line. Basically, that status line indicates the status code. The code indicates whether the web resource or the web information is available on the server or not, or it has been redirected, or it is not available. Something like that. What the status line will always will tell you. So those status codes are important for anybody to understand. So you have the status codes with starting with 1, then we have certain status codes with 2, then 3, 4. Like this, we have different set of categories of status codes to indicate what is the responses that you get it. And of course, there will be a header, the header which has been sent from this client, just informing to the server what type of data are you trying to access for, or are you looking for. So that header file contains those set of data. Basically, it can be a text file, or it can be any other data format, the JSON file or XML file, or it can be a multimedia or an audio or a video or an image file. So that kind of information you can specify it, or that application contains so and so information, and you can try to retrieve them. Then you have a control characters, carriage return and line feeder. Basically these are the control characters of your web document or your web resource. So basically carriage return is nothing but your enter key, the terminal key value that you are going to specify it. And of course, you also have the multimedia mail extensions. The mail extensions, basically, you will have different types, whether it is an ASCII or the text is coded in a different encoding style and the encoding formats, all such kind of informations can be requested from the client, and obviously the corresponding responses do get from the server to the client. So here we will see some of those examples, and before you proceed, there are some more information that you need to be aware of regarding the HTTP. So HTTP is a stateless protocol. Please remember, whenever some requests are being made to the server does not maintain any state of information that is made from the client. So the state information is not going to be retained by the server. That's why we call it as a HTTP, as a stateless. And of course, this stateless is going to be very useful for certain things and somewhat critical for some other things. So let us, when you make some usages of, when you develop some applications and you make usage of that, obviously you will get to know that things. So here, if you see a small example here, you are trying to get some information from a server. The server is basically still hosting all the web information. Hosting means it is keeping a repository of all the information available. It is the host here. So the host address is basically something like info.ucl.ac.be. That is one, the server domain name. And of course, what is that you are going to trying to get from this particular server is you are going to get that index. That is basically a starting page or a home page that you are trying to retrieve, and you are using a protocol HTTP 1.1. So 1.1 is the version that is being used here. So this is how you are going to send a command, that is as a request. You can send it from your computer or from your browser, which is basically a client program, and that the request is been sent across the internet. It means it has been sent to that corresponding server where it maintains or it hosts that information, and once it is available, you will get the response. You will get the response saying that 200. Obviously 200 indicates a successful. This index.html page is available on this server, and protocol that is being used is HTTP 1.1. Was this the date and time, and what is the content length? So basically the number of bytes that particular web page is holding, and the content type. So what type it is, basically it can be an HTML, an ordinary text file, or an HTML file. So this entire HTML file is going to be getting as a response here. So this is how you are going to understand the HTTP different stateless methods. And of course, those methods can be easily considered as CRUD operations. CRUD. CRUD is basically stands for create, read, update, and delete. Basically, this is a software engineering terminology. Mostly, you will come across this CRUD operations, CRUD operations. So create is basically is that you are going to use the post method. You are going to create the document if it is not available there. Read is equivalent to the method of get. So you are reading the contents from that web server. So an update is this particular operation is equivalent to your put. You are going to replace the existing and updating. And of course, the delete is method is from the client. If you want to delete the a particular web information or a web resource on the server, you can as well issue the delete, provided you have authorized to do so. Of course, the authentication mechanisms do place here to check whether you are able to do it. So this already in the morning session, I have given a small demo on how do you make a request from your web browser through your URL to retrieve the information of uoh20.ac.in. So you can go through that, and you can understand the inspector. Basically, the inspector developer tool will give you all that informations. So here, please remember the most important information is that the HTTP gets or gives in the responses. You need to understand the host names, and you need to understand, of course, these parameters will be useful when you are in the developing certain applications, and obviously they will be helpful for you to troubleshoot whether your application is running properly or not. And these methods, HTTP obviously will help you for your APIs, application programming interface. So basically, you want to remotely communicate. So you want to send some commands or use some commands to retrieve the information from the server. you can as well use these HTTP methods, and that will be very much useful for your applications. So this is what the status line, HTTP status line. I've just told you, it will always, success pages will always be prefixed with to, and of course redirection. If it is it is moved from one server to another server, usually these Google files and other servers, they do keep moving their resources to be made available across the internet. So most of the time, sometimes you may see this 301 something like moved permanently. Of course, you can also retrieve it if it is even moved permanently also. That is not a problem. And sometimes you see the errors 404 or 505, something like that. This basically the errors, basically indicating those resources are not available on that. So coming to this, after this, let us see, there are two versions of HTTP. Of course, now we have the latest version, HTTP 2 and 3 also is there. So, but now let us see the basic difference between HTTP 1.0 and 1.1. So 1.0 is, of course, the initial version is a single TCP connection used to transmit a single document. So the establishment, basically HTTP do follow, this is an application layer protocol which follows the TCP/IP model. So the TCP/IP model, you see what is TCP, a connection oriented for reliable data transmission. Data has to be transmitted from one computer to another computer, basically from client to server or server to the client. So in that client server model data exchange, obviously if you are looking for reliable, you obviously look for TCP, transmission control protocol. That protocol, that rules will guide us, will tell us how reliably data transfer takes place. So here we have the HTTP 1.1. Basically, so you can see 1.1 uses a single persistent TCP connection. So this is what is meant by persistent. The word persistence is a crucial thing here, very important. You need to understand what you mean by crucial, this persistence is. So here, whenever a client is making one persistent connection, just look into this scenario here. So client is making a request, and once a client makes a request, it goes to the server, and the server gives an indication by giving a response that is if available or not. So once you get that response, and that response is given back to the client to confirm the response has been made. So obviously you are getting certain things like that. So once the response has been coming, if you are using 1.1, then the previous response, once it has been received, then obviously you are going to have the connection establishment for the frequent or the near future requests that are going to come from the same client. So the persistent is what is meant for. So you are going to have the persistency between that connection establishment and the data transfer which is going to take place. So here you try to get, so once the connection is established and it is made available, connection has been done, then you transfer the files and you make it available to this client for the future request too. So here, that's what here basically, that's what the transitions, the step-by-step given here for the various requests and the confirmations that have been made between the client and the server. So here, this, with 1.1, that is the advantage is having the persistency. So once the final disconnection request has been made, then once the disconnection has been confirmed and this connection has been lost, then it has been over. That is what the advantage of having 1.1. So here, if you see here for 1.0, so for every time whenever a request comes here, so here connection request, the server is indicating connection response, the connection confirmed, the data request. For every time the data, like this, the data transmissions do takes place here. So it requires many times a connection to be made, established, and disconnections. Whereas once the disconnection is done only from the server with the help of HTTP, then it is finally disconnected. Otherwise, for every frequent data transfers, this HTTP 1.0 is having a non-persistence that is going to have a disadvantage of that. So you can go through those more details. You can try to understand that, and if you are having any queries, you can try to contact or have a discussion in the next class. So now let us go with this some of these methods of HTTP. So what I suggest you is any doubts here, please, up to now?
No, sir, nothing as of now.
Yeah. So are you able to follow it?
Yes, sir.
So we have, let us see some of these HTTP methods with the help of certain commands. So one such particular command is called CURL. Have you heard about CURL? Curl?
Yes, sir.
So what is the purpose of a curl command?
We can send a HTTP request to a
Yes, so
server.
we are discussing now HTTP only. Of course, we can send the HTTP request, that is fine. But I will put the question in another way. Of course, only 16 people are there afternoon session. Okay, anyway, so let us see. Suppose I do not have a browser with me. Usually, whenever you want to search some information or you want to get some information from a server, you send the commands from here, right? So you are entering the server or your IP address or your domain name, and you try to press enter, and you will get that information back. Or information back means the information is coming from the server here. So if suppose assume that you don't have a browser, then how do you retrieve the information or how do you get the information from a server? Yes, please.
We can use curl.
Yes. So obviously, there is a command called CURL, command URL. C stands for command and URL, CURL. So most of the operating system, this command, you can run it from your command prompt itself. So it is a command, you are giving some instructions. So if you say here, curl, and you say something like that, you can issue the parameters. Obviously, you'll see there are so many options are there for the command CURL. Is my screen visible to you, the commands?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here, what I suggest you is there is a website. If you are you don't have that command to be executed on that website, you can go to the website. Here you can see here CURL. Curl is a software, a command line tool for transferring data for various protocols, not only HTTP. You can see this is curl.sc. You can see it here. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes,
So yes, it supports various protocols: HTTP, HTTPS, IMAPs, of course MQTT. You will see in the next classes for FTP, and of course the SMTP is also there. POP3 is there. So not only this, there's so many protocols. You can see all these things, all these protocols. So usually we use this CURL is used for command lines or scripts to transfer the data. You can also use for your hardware programming also. People do use when they don't want to have the browsers. So most of the students should be aware of you should have practice on this curl. So here you can install this, you can download this. Of course, I prefer to go for in a different way to install this one. Either you can download directly from here, or I prefer for you to go like this from now onwards, because you'll be using this tool in the later also. So you go to Git. So go to this website Git, and from here you can just download this Git. Basically is a software which is distributed in nature, which will handle so many other functionalities. Of course, you can use the curl also. And if you are going to install it on Windows, it is basically you get the Linux or your Unix environment to issue the commands and to run it. So I prefer for you to install this onto your laptops or onto your desktops if you're having Windows. That That will be most preferable. So you just download for Windows here. Of course, the latest version is there here. So once you download it, I hope you are getting my point.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So once you download and install onto, because my laptop is on the Windows, I'm just showing you on this one. You can go to this git bash shell. So this is the shell prompt, git bash shell. Once you install this, you will get the command prompt like this. Let me just close these things now. And of course, you can see, I'll come back to this website. Later you will see so many other options for your curl command. And I'll come back to this in the later stage, but let me just show you. So running curl commands through git bash will be more useful for you. So I can just switch off this one and okay. Can you see the commands now, which I'm going to type it?
Yes, sir.
Is my characters visible to you? Let me just increase the font size a little bit. Yeah, I hope this. I think now the characters cake is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please let me know if you are unable to view it. Then I can let me. Yeah, I hope now it is okay. Yes, it's a little bit bigger font size. So here, once you install your git bash, and it is just a 2 minutes job to install it. And once you do it, and obviously you get the curl commands. Same thing, the curl commands. CURL stands for command URL. Please remember, you are giving commands which are basically the URL, uniform resource locator. URL is nothing but whatever you are going to type it here. Please remember at the URL address, whatever you are going to type it on the address bar or on the URL bar, the same parameters instead of running on the browser, you will be running here at the command prompt. And this will be helpful for you to troubleshoot when you are going to remotely work onto your server, either you to send some data or to retrieve some data or to check something. You are sitting in India and you want to work it on a server in America, then obviously these commands can also be very much useful for you if you are playing with some web server and database servers. So you can issue the commands here as well, like this. You can see the curl command. You can easily run it on the git bash. This git bash is nothing but a bash shell. You know, in operating system, you know what is a shell is. There's a shell prompt. So the shell prompt is similar to that. Of course, you can see the dollar prompt here. So let me just clear right now. Let us do some practice of HTTP methods. So what are the different HTTP methods? What are the different stateless HTTP methods do support? Please name the methods.
Get request, get post.
Yes. So we have the HTTP methods. We have get, at least the basic get, put, post, and delete. At least the 4 methods we'll start with. Of course, there are plenty of them are there. For a beginner, I don't want to confuse you at this moment. So how to use this curl command? Use the simple exercise, and this file I'm going to upload it for you, and it will be useful for you. And see, like this, I can just put the screen here for you. Let me adjust my screens for you to show the commands as well as run the commands, and for you also to practice on your own laptops. And you start practicing today and tomorrow, and you need to complete a small exercise which I'm going to give it to you for the next week, before the next week's session. So here I just add, yes, let me just show you. So CURL, let me just tell you, uohyd.ac.in. I'm just doing the command here. Yes, now of course some response is there, but it shows that it is moved permanently. See, the server which has been given with this, that file is moved and you are getting a response code. The response code is 301. So it is a moved location to another location from the original location. So if you want, then I think you can still, of course. Okay, now let me just show you one more command here. Let me adjust this. Yes, the font is very bigger in size, and you are going to see the text, so very difficult. Let me just decrease the font size once. Yeah, I think this should be fine. So off of the screen. Okay, so now suppose you are looking for google.com. Yes, here also the document has been moved. Okay, so here you have the option of -L. Yeah, now you get a lot of information from the Google. So Google page can be done, and similarly, if you're looking for, you can use the option of -L. If the pages are moved to another location, it will trace it out basically for you. So curl, okay, let me just give you for our UHYD. Of course, the small letters and the capital letters, the case sensitives, these are options, sir. You need to be very careful. UOHYD.ac.in. I'm giving the curl command to fetch, or basically this command is nothing but you are using the HTTP method only. So by default, it is getting the information. So I issued the command. Previously, it was the file was moved. I think now we are able to retrieve it. Yes, now you can see the UHYD.ac.in. The index file is completely retrieved here. Of course, this is the response. This is basically what you are seeing is nothing but you are giving the HTTP. Yes, HTTPS UHYD. You are trying to by default when you give the command like this, it implies that you are giving the command get GET, the HTTP method itself. So you are going to get that particular getting the response. The response is basically like this. So you are getting, you can see the web page here. Of course, if you want to understand it very closely and very clearly, I will tell you how to put it into your local file, and you can make an understanding of all these things. So it is a huge file, of course. So now let us see. Now you tell me if I want to see. So what are all the things that are there here? One is your response. Where is that file? Yeah, so here a request has been made from the client to the server, and the server is giving some responses. So in the response, what are all the things here, please? The response will include the status line, the header, and of course the control characters. Similarly, the request also includes what is the method that you are trying to request the server. The method is basically get. It can be get, post, put, delete, and other set of operations here. So you are going to get that information index, and by default it going to this particular website. Instead of this particular website, I am giving UOHYD.ac.in for you to clearly understand our own website. And what is that you are getting the response? You are getting the response like this. So if you see this response in that git bash, let me maximize the screen. And once again, issue, if you want to see the entire content, entire response. So yes, it took a little bit of time, and if you see, if you scroll up, you will get the complete response and the complete web page. And of course, this is only the starting page or the index page that you try to see it here. Of course, it is all it is not properly ordered. You cannot see. This is the raw data basically. Please remember, this is the raw data. This raw data is basically organized by your browser to show you it in a proper way. But you should also understand this raw data and more clearly the response. And of course, like this is because it is a very huge file. You will not see all the response code and that other things. So let us. There are commands for you to understand. So those commands, let me just show you the commands which can be used with the curl for applying to those HTTP methods. So here we have, if you want to see the response and the headers. So basically the headers contains the responses codes and all. Then you have to issue the commands minus I, that is small I. So let me just, instead of yes. Yes, if you want to see only the headers, then obviously you can issue the command -head. Head indicates the header of that particular response that you get it from the server. So here you can see the response in this basically a header. So can you tell me what is the web server our university web pages are hosted? The web server is basically the Apache web server. So this is the web server which has been used, and of course the other informations are there, the content types of this front page and the character sets, and of course you have this different security policy information little bit. And yes, these are the headers information that you try to get as a response from our university website, right? Fine. So now if you want to get the client server interactions, what is exactly how the client server interactions are going on between the one system to another system, you issue the command curl and -v verbose. Verbose basically gives you the complete interactions for the URL which you are going to set it. So the URL I'm setting it is uhod.ac.in. Of course, the HTTP or HTTPS, everything will be added here. So okay, the page is moved, then you give the option capital L. So you see the client server is the connection is being established, the corresponding things, all these things have been retrieved. You can just go through from your file itself. Suppose you want to store this onto your local system or onto your local file. So you cannot read all these things at a time. So if you want to store it onto a local file onto your system, so you can as well issue the command curl. You can issue the option trace, give a file name, something like log file 1 of UHYD. So I'm giving log file of UHYD and followed by the URL. So I'm giving the URL uohyd.ac.in. So yes, now let us see what is the file name I have given. Log file. Yes, the log file uohyd is created on my local system, and you can open this file using a notepad, and you can using a notepad, any text editor you can also use it. And you can see this basically you may not understand this particular file, but all these are hexadecimal values. The hexadecimal, of course, these are values which you may not be able to understand the hexadecimal values. If you are not clear, then you can also issue the trace command to have only, so what type of characters that we can understand or the system can understand which are user readable. Can anybody tell me?
UTF-8.
Yes, UTF-8, or prior to UTF, what is the other encoding formats or encoding styles we have? Yes, please. Somebody is saying
Unicode.
Unicode. Unicode. Before to the Unicode, also we have other formatting styles. Yes, please. Basic thing. Yes, ASCII only. Yes, the basic. Yes, what is American Standard Code for Information Interchange? So you can use this ASCII here. So we'll add that ASCII ASCII along with the trace command, and so that instead of those hexadecimal values, so I will change the file name log file UHYD. I will put the other file name. Let me change the file name so that you're not confused. 2. So log file UHYD2 is the file name where that entire contents of uhyd.ac.in are being now stored onto this log file UHYD2. Of course, if you want, you can put it as a .txt file also here only. .txt, that file name extension, file name along with the extension. Then you press enter. So yes, I think yes, done. Then you open the file from your log file, right? Log file, yes, log file uhd2.txt. So I just opened. Now you can see at least somewhat readable, and you can see the font styles, the comments, and the scripts that have been written. Now it is in the English characters instead of hexadecimals. Of course, the memory and other set of addresses are there, but you can still these are your scripting files basically. So this entire file is going to be retrieved like this. So here we have our own informations. So like this, you can, if without browser, you can connect remotely and you can collect the information. Not only in collecting the information. So suppose you want to put new informations, then what command you have to use? What HTTP method you have to use?
Post.
Yes, if you are going to add new information onto the web server, you are going to create a new file, then obviously you are going to go use for post method. If you are going to change some existing things, then you can use the put method. If you want to delete something, you can delete these things. Okay, if you, because you do, in order to practice this thing, I will suggest you to use one. I'm entering one URL on the chat window. I have entered something on the chat window. Can you see it? Can you see the URL, please?
Yes, sir.
So what is the URL which I have entered there?
Regress.in.
Huh?
Regress.in.
Yes, regress.in. So you can enter that. I'm entering it on my browser window. You can use this or regress. 1 second. So you can use this particular web server for you to practice the get, post, put methods. So you need not worry about any servers for you to play with. So here you can use this get methods can be applied. You can apply the post methods, and you can as well do patch. Patching means you are correcting something on the web file, a web server. By sitting here, you are remotely making some corrections to the files on the server. So you can use patch, you can use delete, you can use post methods. So you can use this particular web server, which the people do practice it, request and response. Basically, this request and response, you can develop with real response codes, get, post, put, and delete are all supported here. And you can use this website for you to get a practice. That is one thing. This is one server which will help you for you. And please practice this post, put, and delete methods also on this server. Anyway, this file I'm going to give it to you. So you can put some files, you can put some data. So if you are using post method onto your header section, in the heading section, you have to put the what type of file you are giving. And if you are giving some data, the data should be having a prefix of hyphen small d. Small d indicates data, or you can write data, data itself. And what is the data? If it is a JSON format, so people don't know what is JSON format, do not worry. I will tell that we will discuss it in the unit 3. But if you can, ordinary text files can be easily inserted here. So I expect an ordinary text file to be practiced for you instead of JSON. Those who know JSON, you can just practice these things. So this is a small set of curl commands for you to practice the HTTP methods. That will be the first exercise for you. So practice these curl commands. And the second thing is, those who want to practice, so please install your a local server, a local host server. This morning I was telling to you. So a local host server, there is something called WAMP server. WAMP is an abbreviation for Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. This is a stack. This is a combination of web server, database server, and a parser, which is going to run in a Windows environment. That's why W stands for Windows. Those who want to do it on the Ubuntu, you have a LAMP. Those who want to do it on the Mac, you can have a XAMPP, or you can interchangeable. So the different servers are available for you. So once your service is running localhost, so in the next class I will tell you how to run this in the localhost. And using localhost also, you can issue your curl commands. So something like this, suppose now the web server is running onto my system, and if you see the file which is running on my web server, something like this, www is a root folder. So here I have something like index.php. So if I open this file, of course this is a very big file. Let me just show you a small file here, index1.php. It is one simple file. Of course, this is simple. Nothing is there. Hello, just some HTML file here. Let me open this file from the curl command. So command to use it, curl curl space. Yeah, please tell me, anyone, how to get that file?
Localhost
Okay, localhost
slash index1 dot slash.
Okay, see, basically you need to give what is called as a port number. Of course, by default, localhost runs on 80 if you are not changing that. Then
index.html, index1.html,
index1 dot
PHP.
HTML.
Is it PHP? I saw PHP.
Sorry,
I saw PHP, sir. It's a different.
PHP. Huh?
Yes, sir.
1 second. Maybe I made a change. Let me just show. Yeah, that is PHP file only. Yes. So that this is the content of that. You can see using the curl command. I'm using the get also. So this is my HTML. You can see this is the same program which we have. Sorry, it is index1.php. Yeah, this is just, of course, a file extension. Don't worry about that. It is HTML also. You can give it there. And of course, I'm using the same thing, get command, and I'm seeing that what is that present in that file from that web server. Remember that web server is running in my local system only. That's why it is localhost here. That web server is running locally in my system. That's why it is called as a local host. So like this, you need to keep practicing. Those people who can install local host servers, then either Node.js or WAMP or XAMPP or whatever it may be. Those who know it, but those who don't know, don't worry. Just hold on. First, you do this exercise. The exercise, what I am giving you, practice the curl commands onto different websites, request response, curl commands, and I'm going to give you one exercise for you. This is an exercise. So here, this is a lab task 1. You can refer to that book which I'm referring to you, that page number 63 regarding the hypertext transfer protocol. Morning, I told you to download that. So in that one, you will be using this curl command. Please, whatever the curl command I just told you, and the trace ASCII files, and please answer these questions and try to retrieve the google.com and submit the trace file by inserting your ID number as your file name in the Moodle website. But before you insert it, since this is the first lab task, I don't want you to give any deadline for the next week itself. So, but I will just post this. So do come prepared. First go through the exercises there, practice that. After that, do this one. For the curl command, use the curl command with the get, post, and put and different examples. You please prepare a document of this and show me in the next lab class. Then I will give the provision for you to upload it. So I will not give any provision for you to upload at this moment. So you can just, I am giving this exercise here onto the Moodle website now. So you can retrieve it and start doing those things. Am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So let me just add this task for you to do practice for before you come to the next lab class. Anyway, tomorrow we will be continuing with other protocols. This is only pertaining to, let me put it below the HTTP only, yes. Can you please check from your side whether you're able to open this file correctly or not?
Yes, sir. We are able to see.
You're able to see. What about the Description?
Not really description, sir. Just the file.
Okay, that's what I was trying to find out. Let me just take it out and put it separately then. What happened to the description? Oh, it had taken some spaces here. Yeah, can you please check it now?
Yes, sir. We're able to see now both the
Yeah.
description and the file.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. So good. So any clarifications, please tell me now before we go to the tomorrow session. Everyone should understand this HTTP GET POST methods, please. That's what the most important thing that you need to practice it. And you can go through the curl command, and if you are having much time or you are interested to explore more, you can go to the documentation and you go to the tools or you get the manual page. So you can see there are plenty of commands what the curl can help you. So you can see all these commands, how do you use it. So many options are there. So of course a good practitioner and a good administrator will always look for these commands. So you need not memorize all those things, but at least you should be able to understand and how to make use of them, please. That is most important. So everyone should know, at least looking to those examples and this syntaxes and those things, you should be able to quickly implement them, quickly apply them, and quickly make use of them. So please go through this manual also. See, here is one example of sending a file. If you want to send a file directly to the server by using the post method. So this is one good example is there like this. People immediately should understand, if you want to send a file, how do you send that command? And of course, for user authentications and all, you can also give the username and the passwords so that those people only can insert it. So the names and those things, or username and passwords, can also be given along with the command. So of course, the FTP command we have not yet seen. Tomorrow we will discuss about those FTPs. But please go through these 4 commands: get, post, put, and delete. That's it. Yeah. Anything else? Please let me know. You can as well go through this website, and you can use these commands, and you can see your responses using your git bash, whether you are able to read and whether you are able to post it or not. Check it on these websites. So I don't want to give any spoon feeding here. I don't want to show every single step. So you please first practice it. If you do not get it, let me know, that I will try to help you. Don't worry. Yeah, anything else, please?
Nothing, sir. Everything was quite clear.
Yeah. Good. So of course attendance is not mandatory, but I will be definitely will be checking the students who are regularly attending. So please inform to your friends, because if they miss some of the points, they may miss it for the assignments and the minor exams, and of course the other exams too. So it is up to them if they want to. Of course, anyway, the recorded session I will try to post it by the end of the day, but still attending the class sessions will be helpful.
Sir, will you send it using a Drive folder or something? Will you put it in a folder and share it with all of us?
Which one?
The recordings.
Recordings, I told you, no? What did I do yesterday for the principles of programming languages? You have not seen?
Yes, sir. You mentioned you put it in a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, and the link is provided where?
In the Moodle course page.
Yes, if you go to this principles of programming languages, like this only, this internet technologies, all the links. See, if you go to principles of programming languages course page, here I have given the recording link. Once I upload it to the YouTube, you can see this recording what we have done yesterday. So just bear with me. These are some things which are to be taken care of. Queries. So you can see the recording session here. Whatever I record, I will not edit anything. Friday 9 to 11. Unit 4, and each unit has got certain. So similarly, for this internet technologies also, the morning sessions and today now the session, this session also will be is already being recorded. So I'll stop the recording now. Once the processing and it is over, it will come to my drive. It will take some time, 1 hour or 2 hours. So by evening only I will be able to